Dish TV is better than cable TV. Why? Because you can save 45% on packages compared to your high-priced cable bill. Wow. Take those giant scissors out and cut the cable and save with Dish TV. Plus, you get a free DVR upgrade to record your favorite shows and free installation. And with Dish Anywhere, you can watch TV for free on your mobile device. Act fast. You can save hundreds of dollars. Does your cable company do that for you? Get all the best TV programming at your fingertips at a fraction of the price of cable TV. So say adios, arrivederci, goodbye to the high cable bill and save up to 45% on Dish TV packages today. These are limited time offers and can change at any time. Call fast. 800-405-2561. 800-405-2561. 800-405-2561. That's 800-405-2561.
And now, a special Sports Byline Encore presentation.
Sports Professor Rick Horrow, beyond the scoreboard, inside the trillion-dollar business of sports, deal-making, business, law, marketing, politics, economics, we got it all. And frankly, it's the best time of year to deal with that. You have 32 teams between basketball and hockey still alive in series that in many cases are decided by overtime and go down to the last minute. This is the best time to be alive, especially when the alternative of watching Major League Baseball in the frozen tundra is watching inside hockey and basketball. Baseball decided to start a week early, and look what happened. Snow outs, rain outs, cold outs. Now football, it never sleeps. NFL dominating the headlines again, which is quite odd in April, but not unexpected. The draft in Dallas, after Philly, after Chicago. And remember, the guy that lost the event for the first time, the Radio City Music Hall, negotiating on behalf of them, when Roger Goodell and his folks said, dare me, I'm going to leave and take this asset on the road. And boy, they've struck a home run. Jerry Jones and others will deal with that very specifically, the draft next week. For this week, if you want all of our 15 to watch and 5 tech and 5 power of sports social issues, tune in. Log on, CSN Washington, Mid-Atlantic, all of the NBC family of networks, NBC.com. Subscribe to our podcast on Apple and look for us on Stitcher, Google Play, Audio Boom, the iTunes feed, and the like. So, as we look at the draft in the NFL, it always dominates, and it dominates off the field as well. Colin Kaepernick back in the news after the Seahawks postponed a workout with the Niners quarterback after he declined to say he'd stop kneeling during the national anthem. Seahawks may ultimately bring Kaepernick back in for a workout, though no decision has been made on that. And the team asked Kaepernick, officially I guess you could say, what plans he had for his off-field activities if he were to play football in 2018. Kaepernick said he didn't know.
We're going to take a short break, but when we return, more Rick Horrow, the Sports Professor.
How's that kitchen remodel coming along?
I haven't found a reliable contractor and have no idea where to start.
What about Home Advisor?
Home what?
Home Advisor. They match you to pre-screened and top-rated pros for any kind of home project. You can even check pricing and book appointments online.
What's the catch?
No catch. Home Advisor is completely free to use.
Really? I'll check it out.
Go to HomeAdvisor.com or download the free app.
Home Advisor. If you're one of the millions of Americans who can't work because of a serious injury or illness, you may be eligible for disability benefits from Social Security. Receiving benefits is your right. It doesn't matter if you've applied before and the government has said no. Let the experienced attorneys at Bill Gordon and Associates help you get the Social Security disability you deserve. Their team of attorneys have been fighting for benefits for people just like you for over 20 years. And best of all, they're There's no fee until you receive your benefits. There are many conditions that make you eligible, including some you may not even be aware of. So if you're disabled and unable to work, call Bill Gordon and Associates today for your free no-obligation consultation. See if you qualify for the Social Security benefits you need and deserve. 800-443-4996. 800-443-4996. That's 800-443-4996.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down. 1-888-983-3890. That's 1-888-983-3890. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 1-888-983-3890 for your free case evaluation. That's 1-888-983-3890. 1-888-983-3890. Call now.
If you love fantasy but need to be a part of the action, there's a better way to play, and it's live. WinView Games is the only app that lets you make live props when the game is on TV, compete against other sports fans, talk trash, and if you're right, win cash with an immediate payout each quarter. Playing WinView is easy. During each game, props are sent straight to your phone. So what are you waiting for? Go to winviewgames.com/predict to start cashing in on your sports IQ. That's winviewgames.com/predict. WinView Games. When the game is on, it's on.
To Beyond the Scoreboard with Rick Horrow. We pick up right where we left off.
For his off-field activities, if he were to play football in 2018, Kaepernick said he didn't know. Seahawks were wanting to talk about a firmer plan from Kaepernick about all of his off-field activities, including, but not solely limited to, kneeling for the anthem and how it might impact football. Coach Pete Carroll and EVP John Snyder, responsible for deciding on whether or not to bring Kaepernick in for a tryout. And while the Seahawks are among the most progressive teams in the NFL, Kaepernick could still prove to be more of a distraction than the team could afford, especially given the fact that Russell Wilson is number one and Seahawks have had some off-field issues most recently as well. Well, yeah, that's the NFL there, but how about this? Everybody's talking about Dallas, Tom Brady going to Qatar. Quarterback, along with his wife, Gisele Bündchen, and their two children, visiting Qatar, called Qatar by people who don't know how to pronounce it, as a Best Buddies Global Ambassador. Brady served as an exemplary global ambassador for Best Buddies since 2003, helped bring an even greater awareness to the infinite abilities people with intellectual and developmental disabilities possess, says Anthony Kennedy Shriver, the founder and chairman of CEO of Best Buddies International. Tom's work in Qatar on behalf of Best Buddies will change lives for the better. They currently operate in 50 countries, impact the lives of more than 1.2 million individuals globally, and as part of his role, the 40-year-old will be on hand at Khalifa International Stadium for the launch of a new partnership incorporating individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities into the organization of the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Good for Tom, and it's good to know that the NFL has some substantial international credibility as we get ready for Dallas and the draft. Very interesting show today as far as sports, law, politics, and the like. Joe Lascesi. He's the chairman of Proskauer, the law firm that has probably done more deals than anybody out there. Jaguars, Astros, Nationals, Jets, Eagles, Chivas, the sales, just to name a few. Clippers, the $2 billion sale there. Expansion franchises, Charlotte, Toronto, Vancouver, Miami, Minnesota, Orlando. He's an old guy, worked with him way back when we did the Miami Heat. Atlanta, Columbus, Nashville, Minnesota, that NHL deal in the 80s and the 90s, the MLS, many of its expansion franchises, construction and arena financing, leagues, teams, owners, college sports, media sponsorship. He has some very specific opinions about the NFL, which is very timely as we have the draft about a week away. Joe Lascesi.
Rick Horrow at the Dealmakers in Sports Conference. We've seen commissioners, we've seen industry leaders, but we haven't seen somebody that actually sets the parameters for all of the trillion-dollar business to be done. I was trying to find somebody on the way out, but I found him, Joe Lascesi. He's the worldwide, global, intergalactic partner at Proskauer. How are you?
I'm doing well, Rick. Nice to see you.
Is that the right title?
You could have skipped the intergalactic, but the rest of it was all right.
Everything is fine. Yeah. Now, they have the best brochure in the business, by the way, and I'm only doing this because I respect the heck out of them. So they have 78 offices in 930 countries, and they have 14,000 lawyers. Is that kind of right?
Well, 13 offices and 750 lawyers, but as always, you're very good with math.
I'm never good with math. But it is the biggest trend-setting. Joe is humble. He runs the organization. Let's kind of stay high-minded on a couple of big issues in sports today and in the future. First of all, franchise value. So UFC, you brokered a $4 billion deal. You also had personal experience with the Dodgers at over $2 billion, the Clippers for over $2 billion. It's easy to say buy low, sell high. Is there a ceiling? Will there be a ceiling? Is there more of a ceiling with some leagues than others? Where is that now?
Look, we think that franchise values are going to continue to increase for several reasons. One, you have a dramatic increase in the size of the global middle class. Middle class incomes usually correlate with spending on sports and entertainment, and that begins to drive a broader and more diverse consumer base for these properties. U.S. properties continue to be the dominant sports properties in the world. Obviously, EPL, La Liga, and others are also extremely important leagues. But as the consumer continues to invest in sports in terms of tickets and television viewings, the value of franchises will continue to increase. You also have, as a result of a lot of macroeconomic forces, more wealthy people than you've ever had. You continue to have very stable debt markets with relatively low interest rates, and the combination of all of those factors will continue to drive franchise values.
And more wealthy sports fans, or more wealthy fans who want an asset that will continue to appreciate well beyond what the numbers say.
Well, many of the people that we've represented in the last decade since the Great Recession, it used to be before the Great Recession, people were perhaps interested in sports because they had a passion for the game. They wanted to do something that they regarded as fun. Many more of them now are looking at these sports teams as massive wealth diversifications. If you invest in the stock market right now, you've got to worry that it could be down 30 or 40% tomorrow. But sports franchises, even in the 2008 recession, held their value very well. And I think a lot of wealthy people are seeing them as hedges.
How much of it is the kind of Mona Lisa effect? There are only 30 of them in the NBA and 31 in the NHL, and there are a lot more people that want them than exist.
Look, scarcity value is always drives value. It doesn't matter whether it's classic cars, whether it's pieces of art, whether it's sports franchises, oceanfront real estate. Scarcity is a fundamental driver of value. And so that's one of the other fundamental underpinnings of values in sports.
And one of the other fundamental underpinnings, obviously, is the transcendental value of media rights. Everybody says that was it, no more, and then it continues to increase. It's too simple to say where are the media rights going, but what about the Snapchats, Facebooks, Googles? Are they going to be partners with the mainstream media entities for the next set of negotiations? Are they going to diversify and drive the values up? Is it a combination?
Yeah, well, look, we were just talking about this with Commissioner Bettman a few minutes ago. In 2021 and 2022, you have some of the most significant sports rights deals in the country coming due at once. Baseball, hockey, and football all have major packages that need to be renewed. And I think it's at that moment, usually about 18 months before they expire, that you see people engaging in a very robust way. And whether it's Facebook or Amazon or Google or Apple or one of the other Silicon Valley type companies, I think you will see one or more of them acquiring a significant package from one or more of those leagues. I think the network model will continue for the next decade after that in a harmony with those alternative providers. And then what happens in 2030, I think, will depend upon audiences and technology.
We may not be around in 2030. We're not going to ask each other.
I'm going to be here. You just got to live cleaner.
Yeah, but that affects 2018, not necessarily 2030. Is social media dealt with in a different way? It is in some ways today, but 5-10 years from now, is all of that merged in one process, or is it diverse?
You know, I think what I've learned about social media is everything you think you know today changes in 6 weeks as the young people move on to the next platform. I think it will get further integrated with the live telecast. I think sports will still try to navigate that heads down on the device versus the heads up on the game. But I think as this generation of millennials takes hold as the principal portion of the season ticket base and of the television viewer base, they are accustomed to using social media on a moment-by-moment basis, and it's just going to get further integrated into the packages.
Globalization, again, it's easy to take the word in one broad context, but one thing that's held, Fox, ESPN, they're transcending, but a lot of the other networks are trying, but they're not moving as fast as they could be.
We're going to take a short break, but when we return, more Rick Horrow, the sports professor.
It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. Call right now. That number is 800-485-6003.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for prescription drugs? Well, we have great news. Now you can finally get prescription drugs at huge discounts from Canada Drug Center. That's right, the most popular drugs for cholesterol, high blood pressure, depression, diabetes, arthritis, and many more are now up to 75% off. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices when you can get brand name drugs at the lowest price? Call today and get up to 75% off all the popular brand name prescription drugs. Never pay high prices again. Get the most popular drugs at huge savings from our Canadian and international pharmacies and fulfillment centers. No insurance? No problem. Prices are so low you do not need benefits or insurance to get all your prescriptions fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting to take your call now. Order today and get free shipping. Just call 800-950-1180. Up to 75% off all the popular brand name prescription drugs and free shipping. Call 800-950-1180. That's 800-950-1180.
If you are age 85 or younger, Call to learn more about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network. The average funeral now costs over $10,000. Are you at risk of leaving loved ones to help pay your debts? A final expense policy for seniors can pay up to $30,000 for funeral and other final expenses. You don't need a medical exam, and you can have lifetime coverage, and the policy cannot be canceled. To receive free information about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network, call now. You'll also receive information about a free prescription discount card just for calling in. Agents are standing by.
Call 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. Call now. That's 800-508-5774.
Welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard with Rick Horrow. We pick up right where we left off.
The other networks are trying, but they're not moving as fast as they could be globally. The Alibabas are staying there, but coming over as well. Is there a trend in the future now to consolidate and treat media rights more globally?
Well, I think that's going to be a function of the Silicon Valley companies, the so-called FANG companies coming into sports. Their audience is global. Facebook's audience is not bordered by national borders. And so those companies, I think, are beginning to see the value on a global basis of rights. I would expect them to ask for a very broad swath of rights when they come to the leagues. The leagues may want to gate them by geography in ways that they're not accustomed to, and that'll be part of the negotiation. But again, I go back to the earlier point. It's the global middle class that's growing, not just the American middle class that's growing, and I think sports rights are going to get disseminated throughout the globe.
You use decouching as a segue to talk about facilities. Media, obviously, there's an innate tension no matter what people say. You watch, you're comfortable at home, you're less likely to go to a facility. Yet, facilities are the only place to watch live sports these days. Generally, where are facilities going and the notion of public-private partnerships? If I hear another conversation about no more public money, it flies against the facts. But where do you think it's going broadly?
Look, I think public-private partnerships are here to stay. They've been pronounced dead in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and so forth, and they're still here to stay. And if anything, if you look at a lot of the economic development that happens in cities outside of sports, they're still done with public-private partnerships. I think what will be interesting to see is what happens on the inside of those buildings. What's the size? What's the scale? How much is technology integrated? Because in your family room, every consumer electronics company in the world is investing. Whether it's Google, Amazon, Sharp, LG, they're all investing in your family room. Only the leagues are really, and teams are really investing in those stadiums and arenas. And so we're going to need a greater level of investment to make that live experience as vibrant as it can be. There's obviously a huge advantage in having the live sport right there. This generation of fans is going to expect more technological enhancements, and I think you'll see a greater percentage of budgets for new arenas and stadiums being dedicated to that.
So teams and leagues will control that process a little more than they are today, so there is some kind of mixture of process between the media rights around facilities and around the home experience and the facilities themselves?
I think it's going to be more people following best practices than any sort of necessity for further regulation. When people see whatever the next dynamic experience is in sports, they're all going to want to emulate it just as they emulated club seats and suites and a customer service experience that didn't previously exist at live sports events. I think you'll see that with technology.
Colleges. Now, you guys represent Learfield, and you represent basically, well, you represent everybody everywhere. It's kind of hard to do this. But from a college perspective, future trends, broadly defined, do colleges look more like pro sports, football, baseball 10 years from now? Or do we have some litigation that tries to redefine where the Power 5 conferences are relative to?
Look, again, I think you got to talk about which piece of the business we're talking about. I think Larry Scott, Jim Delaney, and others just over the last 7 or 8 years have brought an incredible increasing amount of sophistication to the business side of college sports in terms of a better exploitation of media rights. The presidents that serve on their boards are exercising more control over spending that money wisely for the benefit of both the athletes and the overall missions of the schools. I think you're going to see an increase in that sophistication at the AD level. I think you can already see it at a number of schools. Athletic directors are coming from all walks of business. They're highly trained people. They're going to be running their programs in a very sophisticated way because they have enormous expense demands on them, not only the cost of feeding, housing, training the athletes and protecting them, but meeting all of the expectations of the broader missions of the universities. I think the court cases will be going to trial sometime in 2018, we expect. But I think people also need to bear in mind that schools have a broader mission. These are not professional sports leagues. The labor laws don't work terribly well in this context. And the Supreme Court has consistently sustained the principle of amateurism. That is the distinction between college sports and everything else. Minor league sports do not drive nearly the interest from fan or player that college sports drives. Amateurism is the distinction between minor league sports and major college sports. I think that principle will be preserved. I think it needs to be to preserve college sports as we currently enjoy it and to allow the sports to work better with the missions of the universities.
Well put. Does the litigation, however, take more of an active role in driving some of this change? Power 5 relative to others, minor sports relative to others, Title IX relative to others, especially since, as you pointed out, there is no labor union with which to bargain. So the courts may be the ones that are helping to define this leverage?
Well, but again, I don't know that they can really define it, and I think judges need to be careful about wandering into territory that they may not fully appreciate. In professional sports, it's a very binary relationship. There is one union that represents a group of players and one league that is bargaining with that union. That is not the case in college sports. You have public universities that under state law cannot be unionized. You have private universities that could be, but potentially by a multitude of unions. You don't have that unified principle that you have in sport. You also don't necessarily have the infrastructure there that would allow those labor discussions to happen in a way that would be effective for allowing these athletes who have relatively short times at those universities to play. You know, a lockout at a university level could deprive somebody of the bulk of their varsity experience.
So Joe Lascesi has a rare ability to, according to the documents, since he's running this place, shape the law. There are very few brochures that actually talk about things other than what they're doing. You have a real commitment to help define what the future looks like in the business. You have the leverage and the vision and ability to do that. Having said that, what does the business broadly defined look like 5 years from now?
Well, one of the things we've certainly invested heavily in at the firm is the development of our young women lawyers, especially in our sports group. And I think what you're going to see over the next 5 years is that current generation of women executives who are currently in their mid to late 30s who are getting to the point where they can lead teams, lead leagues, lead major sponsor relationships on the corporate side. And I think one of the things that's going to change dramatically in this business is the representation and influence of women, and I think that'll be a great thing.
Doing well versus doing good, the power of sports. We've seen what it means after natural disasters, after Vegas, after Boston Strong. What do you see as the obligation of sports teams and leagues to do the right thing, and why is sports so special that will give them and us the platform to do that?
Well, look, sports has always transcended traditional political divides, traditional other sort of demographic divides in this country. It's why the live experience is so vibrant. You have people from all walks of life there. I think as a result, teams have a unique connection with their community that other businesses may not. I don't know a team, I don't know a league that doesn't have a very vibrant community outreach program, a very vibrant charity program. The causes that are supported by those charities vary from community to community based upon what's important to that community. You saw the Saints after Katrina. You saw so many of these teams really lead the resuscitation of spirit, of optimism, of hope in their communities, and do good work underneath that. And I think that's just an essential part of being a community asset.
Final question, really important, at least to me, is we've known each other for 30, 40 years. And
maybe you've known people that long. I haven't.
Yeah, right. And before he was chairman of this esteemed firm, you used to have black hair. What's wrong with you, pal? What happened?
I'm always trying to emulate Rick Horrow, so here I am.
He used that line before. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Good to see you. Thanks.
Well, Joe, remember, is the chairman of Proskauer, but also the co-head of Proskauer's renowned sports law group. By the way, a breeding ground for commissioners. Gary Bettman there on the steps of learning as much as he could from David Stern, who was also there. And obviously those two guys, things worked out pretty well. So let's talk about basketball and hockey for a minute. NHL, by the way, how about the Knights? If they win the Stanley Cup, it'll be devastating. Why? Well, to Vegas books, that is. Golden Knights, such long shots to win the NHL championship before the beginning of the season. Some of the houses offered bets as high as 500 to 1. The Nevada Gaming Control Board said that Nevada took about $11.6 billion in gambling revenues in 2017, and the sports books accounted for about $249 million of that total, just over 2.2%. In fact, Frank Kanovic, director of specialty games at Caesars, said the Golden Knights account for 17% of betting tickets and 14% of the money risked in the Western Conference. However, if the Golden Knights beat the Kings and win the championship and advance, by the way, the sports book's financial risk isn't likely to bankrupt casinos. One bookmaker likened the losses taken by Golden Knights' Stanley Cup victory as comparable to a very bad NFL Sunday. It is kind of interesting dramatically. The better the Knights do, the worse the Vegas casinos do.
We're going to take a short break, but when we return, more Rick Horrow, the sports professor.
Every home repair or improvement project should start with a pro you know you can trust. That's why for over 15 years, homeowners have trusted Home Advisor.
Home Advisor is a very easy way to find a home contractor, and for me, it's the only way.
You can use Home Advisor for everything. Your house cleaning, your painting.
Electricians, plumbers, handymen. We've had nothing but fabulous every single time.
Home Advisor is a totally free service that instantly connects you with top-rated pros who have passed criminal and financial background checks.
Knowing that they have had the background checks and that they're vetted absolutely gives me a sense of security.
Plus, Home Advisor's True Cost Guide helps you get a fair price by showing you the cost of similar jobs in your area.
Home Advisor is a total solution to any type of work you would ever want to do around your house.
And best of all, it's completely free. Go to HomeAdvisor.com or download the free app.
Home Advisor.
Hey, travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first-class tickets.
855-325-1780.
855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
Message and data rates may apply.
Hi, I'm Frank Thomas, the Big Hurt. After I left baseball, I just couldn't stay in shape like I used to. Turns out, once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone, and that can make it harder to get into shape. So I got back into the game with Nugenics. I'm feeling stronger with a lot more energy and drive. You want to get back into shape? Get Nugenics. All you have to do is send one simple text.
Frank's right. Just text LIKE to 42424 to get a complimentary bottle of award-winning Nugenics, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Its unique man-boosting formula is powered by Testofen, a patented key ingredient clinically researched to help a man feel stronger, leaner, more energetic, and more passionate.
And guys, she'll like the difference too.
Nugenic samples are not available in stores. To get your complimentary bottle, text LIKE to 42424. That's LIKE to 42424.
Welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard with Rick Horrow. We pick up right where we left off.
Sports Professor Rick Horrow, Beyond the Scoreboard. Major League Baseball making progress toward more racial equality amongst its players. Opening day rosters this year having the highest percentage of black players since 2012. 8.4% of rosters comprised of black players, up 7.7% last year, 8.27% the year before. The league attributed the increase, at least partially, to its efforts to increase baseball youth participation with programs that include urban youth academies and reviving baseball in inner cities, RBI. That program first launched in 1989 in the Urban Youth Academy, founded back in 2006 in Compton, to New York Yankees center fielder Aaron Hicks and Oakland A's left fielder Chris Davis, two of the nearly 150 players who've been drafted into the league after attending the Compton Academy. MLB made its calculation based on the 750 players who were active on March 29, not including the other 127 who were disabled, suspended, or on paternity leave. Good work, baseball. Sport Monster Energy officially agreed to renew its NASCAR Cup Series title sponsorship for one additional year. The news initially broke that Monster could sign for 2, but the two sides ultimately decided on the single year in light of NASCAR's desire to change its sponsorship model. Monster's initial deal with NASCAR, about $40 million over 2 years, though financial details not disclosed this time around. NASCAR COO Steve Phelps said that changing the current model would be akin to what EPL did in 2016 when it went from having one title sponsor to a handful of official partners that get league assets, including one lead brand. The overall model not yet been finalized, but NASCAR intent on not signing a long-term title sponsor with the pending change. One potential outcome is the implementation of an umbrella-like model that would involve speedways, racing teams, television partners, and NASCAR all in one. The NBA regular season wrapping up this past week, the league concluded with some of its best viewership numbers in years. Nationally televised games this year saw their best average viewership since 2014. The NBA currently in its second year of the 9-year, $24 billion media rights deal. Average viewership up 8% from 1.19 million viewers last year. ABC, TNT, ESPN, NBA TV. The 8 Saturday night ABC games, about 3.39 million viewers, up 15% from last season. Sunday afternoon, average 2.95 million viewers, the window's best figure in 4 years. And with the playoffs officially underway, NBA looking to continue this positive momentum forward.
You're listening to Beyond the Scoreboard with Rick Horrow. This next segment, we reset the show a little bit for emphasis. Here's Rick.
So let's talk about basketball and hockey for a minute. NHL, by the way, how about the Knights? If they win the Stanley Cup, it'll be devastating. Why? Well, to Vegas books, that is. Golden Knights such long shots to win the NHL championship before the beginning of the season. Some of the houses offered bets as high as 500 to 1. The Nevada Gaming Control Board said that Nevada took about $11.6 billion in gambling revenues in 2017, and the sports books accounted for about $249 million of that total, just over 2.2%. In fact, Frank Kanovic, director of specialty games at Caesars, said the Golden Knights account for 17% of betting tickets and 14% of the money risked in the Western Conference. However, if the Golden Knights beat the Kings and win the championship and advance, by the way, the sports book's financial risk isn't likely to bankrupt casinos. One bookmaker likened the losses taken by Golden Knights' Stanley Cup victory as comparable to a very bad NFL Sunday. It is kind of interesting dramatically. The better the Knights do, the worse the Vegas casinos do. How about that for irony? Well, let's pull ourselves out of casinos, but stay in hockey. Education technology leader EverFi announced a new digital education partnership with Washington Capitals captain Alex Ovechkin. In honor of his 1,000th NHL game, the star forward committed to providing digital education opportunities to 1,000 Washington, D.C. area students. The new partnership focuses on a series of critical skills and learning opportunities that include digital citizenship, entrepreneurship, and health and wellness for middle and high school students. Each of these digital courses will be embedded into school curriculums at no cost to students, families, or school districts. And Ovechkin and EverFi working together to identify students in D.C. as well as schools in Maryland and Virginia to participate in the program. Implementation starts in schools as the Capitals take part in the playoffs and will continue during the 18 and 19 school year. And in Pittsburgh, the Penguins Foundation also partnered with the Rite Aid Foundation and the Pennsylvania State Attorney General to combat the opioid epidemic. They'll make EverFi's prescription drug safety course available, again, at no cost to Pittsburgh area students. This is the time of year when hockey matters most, and EverFi has helped the league identify what's even more important. Kudos to them. How about the NHL, though, and certain media? Well, 2 Stanley Cup playoff games, Game 4, the Devils and Lightning, and then the Sharks and Anaheim Ducks are on, guess what? The Golf Channel. The first time the network carries NHL postseason action. NBC holds the media rights to the NHL playoffs, as we know, and opening round games typically available on local broadcasts and across the NBC's family of channels. NBC's motives for airing the games on Golf Channel are unclear because NHL Network currently not planning to air any games during the scheduled time, but the move is more likely destined to anger some hockey fans, but obviously the integration of the entire NBC network comes into play, and the playoffs continue past the first round. It'll be worth noting that NBC continues to tout all of its assets, one of the prime reasons it bought the NHL in the first place. And how about another media partner, Hulu? Day before the start of the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs, Hulu announced that a deal with the league to be an official sponsor for the playoffs and the final. They debuted its live TV service in May 2017 and found that live sports has been a significant driver for subscription signups. The NHL deal, it's hoping, will get the Hulu brand in front of sports fans and let them know they can watch a wealth of TV on sports as part of the $40 per month service. The effective April 11, Hulu became an official NHL provider for the entirety of the 2018 Stanley Cup playoffs and final. Partnership includes a national marketing campaign across the NHL digital and social channels, as well as camera-visible in-stadium inventory within all U.S. venues. And as part of the agreement, Hulu partnered with the NHLPA to create video vignettes showcasing some NHL stars. So, NHL playoffs, as good as always, but certainly some major moves, charity-wise and media-wise. Look at the NBA for a minute, because remember, they're 16 teams still fighting for playoff supremacy. The regular season wrapped up and the league concluded with some of its best viewership numbers in years. Regular season televised games saw the best average viewership up since 13 or 14. The NBA, currently in its second year of the 9-year, $24 billion rights deal, average viewership up 8% from 1.19 million viewers last year. And games were shown on ABC, TNT, and viewership up 8% from the 1.19 million viewers last year. The 8 Saturday night games averaged 3.39 million, up 15%. Bottom line is, NBA, really good regular season. Everybody watching. Certain markets need improvement. Memphis Grizzlies owner Robert Pera keeps his controlling interest in the NBA franchise despite rumors that he may sell. Pera recently engaged a buy-sell process with investors Steve Kaplan and Dan Strauss to forego his majority stake in the Grizzlies. In order to control the team, though, Pera had to commit to either buying Kaplan's or Strauss's share at a valuation price set by them, or Pera could have decided to sell the shares of the team at that price. Both sides were given 60 to 90 days to engage in good faith negotiations, and the resulting outcome is Pera buys out Kaplan's 14% stake and Strauss's as well. Despite being an absentee figure in the organization, rarely attending games or conducting interviews, Pera's deal means the Grizzlies will now be valued between 1.3 and 1.4 billion, a large sum for a small market team. And Memphis's reputation as a sports city of note will only increase next year for a number of reasons. The WGC event, golf, moves from Akron, Ohio to Memphis. Memphis Arena there, obviously big-time stability for the NBA team in that city. So we look at other sports. We look at international development as well. Winning big games often has a direct impact on teams' profitability. That was especially true after AS Roma shocking comeback victory of FC Barcelona in the Champions League quarterfinals. Italian soccer club stock jumped 24% in the wake of advancing, and that's just one game. Tournament semifinal, big game, but 24% for just one. And despite losing 4-1 in the first leg of the matchup in Barcelona, the Italians turned out in a remarkable second leg performance, winning 3-0 on a late header goal and advancing on away goals. Teams that reach the last four in the Champions League receive about a $9 million allocation from the prize pot, further 15.5 million euros potentially at stake. With fellow Italian side and Serie A frontrunner Juventus getting knocked out of the tournament, Roma will profit even more for not having to share their country's television revenue with their league rival. And finally, we talk about the 2024 World Cup and the lead up into it as we're close to the 18 event in Russia, 2022 in Qatar, in 2018 in Russia. And FIFA in the works to add two major international tournaments after teaming up with Saudi Arabia, Chinese, and American investors. The new partnership over 12 years, worth about $25 billion, and is likely to make an already busy global soccer calendar even busier. One of the tournament ideas being floated is an expanded World Cup. FIFA President Gianni Infantino said that he's trying to make 24-team tournament played every 4 years, starting in 2021. The Club World Cup, currently a 7-team event played in December and usually won by a European club, and a revamped event would kill off the mostly unpopular Confederations Cup.
We're going to take a short break, but when we return, more Rick Horrow, the sports professor.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Clapper, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Group in Los Angeles, California. Dedicated to your health, your life, and your sports. As a weekend warrior, you know about sports injuries and pain. Exercise is an important element in keeping your body's core in good shape to minimize sports injuries. But when you are in pain, there is one product that I recommend to my patients, and that is Blue Goo Gel. Blue Goo consists of a proprietary formula developed specifically for the treatment of inflammation and general muscle aches and strains. I recommend Blue Goo for my patients coping with hip and knee pain before surgery, especially bursitis and tendinitis. Give Blue Goo a try. Call 1-888-330-0123 and you'll receive a 1-week supply of Blue Goo absolutely free. The makers of Blue Goo are even paying the shipping. The number again is 1-888-330-0123. If you want more information on Blue Goo, visit online at www.dothegoo.com.
Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.
When you struggle with credit card bills every month, you're not just in debt. Debt is all around you.
I see people every day that are on the brink. They're going to go over the edge, and at the bottom is bankruptcy, and we pull them back.
At the Debt Helpline, we're experts at helping you resolve your debt problems and become free of debt. We can help you pay off your debt and give you one lower monthly payment that you can afford.
You do get to consolidate your payments. You only have to worry about making one payment a month instead of making 3 or 4 or 5.
If you have $5,000, $10,000 or more in credit card bills, call the Debt Helpline now for a free confidential debt analysis.
800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. Call the CESI Debt Helpline right now for a free confidential debt review. 800-957-6063. 800-957-6063.
Rebuild or replace transmission, $3,200. Anti-lock brake system, $1,000. Rebuild or replace engine, $2,400. Truth is, once your manufacturer's warranty runs out, it's all on you. Every last cent. Get protection for covered repairs with a vehicle service contract from Toco Warranty. Unlike other companies, with Toco, there's no down payment, and the monthly payments are really affordable. Not sure how long you're keeping your car? At Toco, you can pay as you go. Keep your hard-earned cash and call Toco Warranty right now at 800-222-2313 to save big money on covered auto repairs. Prices vary by vehicle, but for about the cost of a tank of gas per month, a Toco plan has your back on expensive covered car repairs. Monthly payments are very affordable. Get your free quote now. Call Toco at 800-222-2313. That's 800-222-2313. 800-222-2313. Cancellation fee may apply, subject to eligibility. Not available in Missouri and Washington. Waiting period and deductible apply. Coverage provided and administered by Warrantech Corporation or its affiliates. Not affiliated with any manufacturer or dealership. Visit TocoWarranty.com for complete terms and conditions.
Welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard with Rick Horrow. We pick up right where we left off.
Tournaments after teaming up with Saudi Arabia, Chinese, and American investors. The new partnership over 12 years, worth about $25 billion, and is likely to make an already busy global soccer calendar even busier. One of the tournament ideas being floated is an expanded World Cup. FIFA President Gianni Infantino said that he's trying to make 24-team tournament played every 4 years, starting in 2021. The Club World Cup, currently a 7-team event played in December and usually won by a European club, and a revamped event would kill off the mostly unpopular Confederations Cup. Second tournament idea being floated is the addition of the Nations League, which would become FIFA's second-tier competition, replacing the Confederations Cup. The new events have the potential to secure long-term revenue for many of the 211 FIFA federations who rely heavily on the global governing body for financial support. It appears soccer is now taking a page from pro golf and tennis, creating a prestigious new international event series that encompass more and lucrative markets. Well, good luck to them. They always seem to be creative. Joe Licessi was right. The sports business is no longer just domestic, but is a foreign and global business as well. Well, thank everybody for listening, and thank Joe Licessi for giving us his opinion from Proskauer and beyond. Thank Dan Martin and Tanner Simpkins for helping with this. Next week, the draft. Beyond that, the next major, a tennis major in May, Memorial Day weekend and beyond at the French. Baseball heating up as they continue to heat up even more. We'll focus on Orioles and Nationals as we go forward. And join us next week and beyond when we go Beyond the Scoreboard.